Oh, hello, look at you. You think you have 40 hours in a week to work. This is the daily energy calendar. Now I'm going to show you how it works. It's pretty simple. It's a free template, link in the description, but you don't need a template. It takes like 3 seconds to make. But if you're feeling particularly lazy, it's free, link in the description. Don't click away. You're going to ruin my retention graph. I've just gotten monetized. This is an advertisement for a fast food company. Yummy. I need you to stick around so I can make that money. Have you ever thought about making your own website? Well, now you can with our tool, Give Us Money. People think they have 40 hours a week to work, or some people think they can work more than that. Sadly, the truth is you probably can't, because you only have a lot of energy for like a few hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day of like your full attention where you can actually work at your best. What we want to do is just track for a few weeks your energy levels throughout the day. That way you can pick up, oh, okay, every single day at 9 a.m., my energy is at a peak.
This is the promised land of mental hardening for me. I love this place.
And then it typically crashes at 3 or whatever it is for you.
Oh my God. That's the whole thing.
It's pretty simple. Green, lots of energy. Orange, kind of normal baseline energy. Yellow, low energy. Red, no energy. A moon, you're sleeping. By the way, you're going to be filling this out at an hourly basis at the start of every hour. How are you feeling? You don't want to do it at the end of the hour because it's probably going to then skew your opinion on, like, you know, let's say you want to know for 3 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock you have a meeting that goes for an hour, and then at the end of the meeting you're like, okay, time to say at 3 o'clock, you know what, I was really drained. You might not have been, you might have had a lot of energy, but because you had that draining meeting, you actually think that you had lower energy than you actually had. That made little sense, but I hope you know what I mean. So at 9 o'clock, right now, I feel lots of energy.
Time to motivate absolutely no one. Rise and grind and rise. If you don't rise, then there's no grind.
10 o'clock, I feel normal energy, blah, blah, blah. You're going to fill out the entire week. And then you're going to do it for another week and another week if you want, but 1 or 2 weeks is kind of enough. You just want to get a baseline energy understanding. Why are we doing this? This makes no sense. Why am I just tracking my energy levels? I'm going to show you why. All right, so I've just filled this out randomly, but let's say your week looks something like this. Now that you have this data, and let's say you do it for another week as well. Let's say your week looks like this. What are you going to do with this information? Well, what you actually want to do is plan out your day according to these energy levels. So what we can see here is somewhere between 8 and 11 or something like that. That's when I seem to typically have the most amount of energy.
I don't need to watch motivational YouTube videos.
What I should be doing is when I'm scheduling stuff, I should not be doing my important tasks after lunch. As I can see here, I'm most tired after lunch.
You are wildly, insanely depressed.
Do you see him? Do you think a depressed person could make this?
But typically what we do is we'll plan out the day kind of haphazardly, opening up emails or just doing the first thing on our to-do list, instead of actually understanding our energy levels. So when you plan according to energy instead of planning according to whatever's on the top of your to-do list, then you'll actually see the most amount of progress. So what we can see here is these hours, we should be doing the cognitively demanding work, the things that involve the most amount of brain power, the most amount of thinking. All of these difficult tasks, they should be the first thing on our list. Or here, we might want to start the day with like a quick win, something that's relatively easy to get the ball rolling, but we might not want to do the most difficult thing first. By the way, this is an example timetable. I don't know what yours will look like. If you are really struggling to get back into the groove of things after lunch, which is quite normal, then maybe after lunch you should be scheduling meetings or scheduling easy, shallow work and stuff like that. So instead of just opening up your to-do list and then doing the first thing you see, think about instead, this is what I want to achieve today, and then actually planning that according to your energy levels. So if you know on average, the day I start pretty slow, I need a coffee to wake up, and it takes me about an hour to even like want to sit down and do some demanding work. Well, then start with something easy. Or if you're the type of person who wakes up and you're like, cool, I'm ready to just do the most difficult thing first, then you might want to do the eat the frog method. That way you get it over and done with. Then after that, let's say you have using the Eisenhower matrix, something that's urgent, something that's important, where it's basically you want to do the thing that is the most difficult and that is actually going to have the most amount of leverage and the most amount of impact on your work life or your personal life or whatever it is. The most important thing of your day. Then you're having lunch at maybe 12, 1, whatever. Then you might say, cool, every day after lunch, I need to do something easy because that's typically when I'm low in energy.
Life is pointless and nothing matters, and I'm always tired.
So, you know, scheduling meetings, because that's something that's quite easy depending on the meeting.
Bud Liquor, our prices have never been lower.
To do instead of doing that when you have the most amount of energy and you can get some really deep work done. So here you can see between 6 and 7, very low in energy. So this might be a good time to work out or something.
I'm taking karate classes online. My sensei just...
Because after 8 o'clock, you're probably too tired to even work out. So instead of trying to just fit everything into your day without actually knowing when the best time to do it is, I recommend doing this. So one thing you could do to find even more insight in this activity is to write down a list of activities you're doing. So let's just say run has an emoji, and then work, okay, the briefcase, email, stuff like that. Every hour you're actually giving this an emoji of what you're doing. So let's say we're doing this, I'm just randomly doing stuff. You might want to be more specific than just saying work. So you're adding all of these, and now you can see, you know what, every single day after doing emails, I seem to be tired. So the reason you're going to do this is you can actually then start picking up on trends on your energy levels. Let's say you do emails, and after every time you do emails, you get really tired after. Well, if that's the case, then you know to plan around not doing emails first thing in the morning, because then the next hour you feel really drained after checking, 100 emails in the morning. It's an easy way to find out and track what's the things that are giving me energy and what are things that are taking energy away from me. That way you can plan around that. Now, to take this even one step further, you can write down if you're eating healthy, unhealthy, and when you're having your coffees. So if you've seen my Andrew Huberman video, or if you drink coffee regularly, I'm sure you would have picked up on the effects that coffee is having on you. First, you get that big boost of energy, and then after that, it kind of crashes.
Caffeine blocks the adenosine receptor, and then when it is dislodged from that receptor, whatever adenosine has built up and is around can then bind to the adenosine receptor and makes you feel very sleepy. That's the caffeine crash.
So it could be an interesting thing to track this. Okay, I'm having a coffee here, and I'm having a coffee here, and then when I have a coffee here, and I have a coffee here. Okay, you know what? The days that I'm having coffees at 2 o'clock, I actually end up going to bed a lot later. These are all examples, but basically what you're trying to do is track your energy. You want to know where is my energy going and what is helping me get energy and removing my energy. Removing my energy? Making my energy levels lower. You know what I mean. Another thing that could be interesting is tracking if you're eating an unhealthy or a healthy meal. Personally, I find that if I have a really unhealthy meal for lunch, or if I have a very carb-dense lunch, then I just don't work very well in the afternoon. So if I eat a salad or something that just doesn't have a lot of carbs in it.
Ron, would you like some salad?
Since I am not a rabbit, no, I do not.
Then I typically work a lot better in the afternoon. So tracking something like that could also be interesting for you. Again, everyone's energy levels are completely different, hence it's interesting to track, and then you can pick up on the trends and know how to change your workday in order to actually get more done. Obviously, every person is going to function very differently, and their workday is going to look very different. So tracking what you're doing and your energy levels throughout the day will help a lot in knowing how to actually organize your week. Again, link in the description for the free template, but you don't need the template. It takes 3 seconds to make. Here's what you're going to do. /table. Click here. Drag that out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5, 6. Guess what comes next? 7. After that, subscribe. Thanks for watching. You get the point.